Hello everyone, it's your girl here again, Olari Ike. How are you this morning? Well, this morning was okay. It was really cold because I live in Ireland, and waking up this morning, it was so cold. I didn't want to get out of my bed. Neither did my kids want to get out of bed. But at the end of the day, we have to do what we have to do. We have to do the school runs, do their lunch boxes, and all that. So I'm happy that I'm able to kind of do that. I'm going with the flow, like just being a mother and do what I have to do for the day. So today I was just thinking, and I'm like, okay, what should I say today? What should I put out for you? What content should I put out? And I was just thinking about, you know, creativity, God's creativity, how God created, the heaven and the earth. And, instead of just kind of looking at it as a story, I was able to just have a deeper think about, how the whole world was created. And I tried to relate it to this modern time that we are in. So I'm going to start by saying this. When God created the heaven and the earth, the first thing He created was the light. The light. And I just thought, like, how could He have created other things without creating the light first? Why is that? Because the light is vision. With the light, we can see. With the light, as human beings, we are visionaries. With light, we could plan. So without light, how can God ever create anything? There has to be light. There has to be light. And I just want to relate it to, psychologically, how we think. Light still means clarity in your mind. Your happiness is light. So imagine if it's dark, how do you feel? It's scary. You kind of not know what to do. You might not really know which way to go. But when there is light, you begin to be very creative. Like, okay, what can I do with this? What can I do with that? So that is just what I think about, you know, light as being a vision. And with light, you're a planner. You can plan as a person. You can plan as a person. So now, another thing I want to talk about is because just reading Genesis chapter 1, I could pick out some points, some lessons that I've learned. I learned that after light, then our creativity can come in. Then you can begin to plan as a mother for the year. You can plan for your children. You can plan for, like, in 5 years' time, what you want to do with your time. So planning is very important. Do you want to further your education? It doesn't matter what age you are. Education is, you can't stop education in whatever form it comes. It's either you learn about something new, or you just discovered this, or you just discovered that. Because even up till now, God is still putting out things. Like, I know we have the Bible, but after the Bible, there was still life, and that with the life we are in, you see how different it is from back in the day during the Bible time, and now how things have changed. But then it has changed, but it is still very relatable. So it was, I was just thinking about God's creativity. How we did that. When He created the light, there was light. And then He began to say, oh, yeah, like, yeah, I can see everything is just rowdy. What can I do to make it better? And He began to do the separation, separating the heart from the sky, separating the waters and doing all that. And it all looked beautiful. And then I learned about reflection too. That God reflected, okay, that after He must have, created the heaven and the earth and everything was looking beautiful, He actually thought of what He can do to make it, to give it some spice. And then He remembered, okay, I could create animals, I could create birds. He created animals to work on the earth, and He created birds to fly in the sky, and then He created sea animals, He created the fish, He created, beautiful, creatures apart from, human beings that He created last. So for that, I think God is very creative. And I think for 7 days, He did all that. And for 6 days, He did all that. And on the seventh day, He rested. But I know for a fact that between the first and the sixth day, God continued to reflect. That's another thing I learned. God continued to reflect. Like, okay, what next should I do? What is good? What is not good enough? So, and you would see that in this day, like as a human being, even if you have like a business, one thing you have to do is you have to kind of restructure. And how do you restructure? By reflecting. Give me a second, my mouth is dry. By just reflecting on the things that you have done, how can you make it better? So, and even in this day and time, there is no workplace that you go to that you will not actually reflect. As a mother, you have to reflect. Reflection is what we do every day. It's just like looking back at the plans you had made and how you kind of carried it out. What are the pros and cons? What were the advantages? What were the good things? And what did you not do right that you feel like you need to put more effort and just, make it better? So just looking at how God created the heaven and the earth and seeing that reflection is very important. I think that is one thing I'm going to take with me from just reading Genesis chapter 1. And I believe we should all what name should I give you guys? Okay, I was thinking, I'm going to give you my gems. You are my gems. You are my gems. I think you should take that with you, to reflect on whatever you do. Reflect, how do I restructure my business? How do I restructure my home? How do I restructure how I look? I think a lot of people nowadays, they call it, what do they call it? I forgot it. When I remember, I'm going to tell you people. So that's just that. So I'm going to talk about what God really thought about again. It's, God is so cute. He thinks about everything. Companionship. Companionship. When God created the animals, you know what He did? He created them in twos. He made sure that they were not alone. He made sure that there was no isolation. He didn't just create an animal. He created animals, and He created animals of every kind. Like, let's say He created a lion, He probably created like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, whatever the numbers were. He created a fish, many fishes. He created, these animals in clusters. And I think that is beautiful, meaning that God is so thoughtful that if He created just one animal or just one bird in the air, it's going to be so boring. But the fact that they can all flock together, they can all play together, sometimes they fight, but notwithstanding the fact that they are together, they got each other's back. It's like having a community. And if you look at that, that's what we have in this day and time. We all have a community. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter where you are. Like, I'm in Ireland now. I have a community of Black people. I would say even in the workplace, I have a community in my workplace. I have people with like minds that I talk to, even in your workspace, whether you're a nurse, you're an healthcare assistant, you always have a community. meaning that you have people that you work together with, that you have a common goal. You know, your neighbors are your community still. So that keeps everybody happy. There's no isolation. You know that even if you have a worry, you can go to them and they would advise you. So I think, and that's another thing I took from there. So now, this one really got me. It really got me. You know that, like, if you read Genesis chapter 1, man was the last thing God created. And I was like, okay, why did he create man last? It occurred to me that after God had done so much work in creating all these beautiful things, the animals, the sea, the earth, the sky, the birds in the air, he looked at himself, he was happy that, oh my God, I've done so much work. And God, I think God was in love with his creation. He was in love with himself. And then he now thought, okay, I love myself so much. What can I do to make myself happy? Then he decided to make man in his image. And I see that as self-love that we all talk about today. As a mother, having to take care of your husband, your children, having to go to work, especially in Europe where you have the butler, you are the chef, you are the advisor, you are the secretary, you're literally everything. We don't have house helps, you know, in Europe. Even if you want to have one, it's really expensive. So I think as a mother, as a father, self-love is very important. Even when you work so hard, don't ever forget to love yourself. Don't ever forget to love too hard to make so much money that you cannot even stay to enjoy by yourself. So it is very important that we should love ourselves because God has showed that example by creating us. And when he created us, he loved us so much that he gave us dominion over everything. You see, everything that I've highlighted earlier, which is light, creativity, structure, reflection, companionship, self-love. This is power. 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 So if there's anybody that is thinking of what they have to do this year to make their life better, to give their life more structure, because with all these points that I have said, you could see that God has a structure. Light, the plan. Creativity, the imagination. Structure, look at everything he made. They look so beautiful and they all look in place. Reflection. He looked back and he was happy that he created those things. And even remembered that we need to love one another. He gave us companionship by creating us alike. And self-love again. God loves himself, he loves you. So if God can love himself to create us, who are we not to love ourselves? Who are we not to love us? So I hope all my gems will take this with them and just think about it and see what you can do. If there's anything that you need to make use of in all these points that I have highlighted, just sit on it and think about it to make your life better, to make my life better. Because if your life is better, your life of your neighbor is better. Like, you know, everybody wants to associate with people with structure. Your children are watching you. Your husband is watching you. Your neighbor is watching you. Your friends are watching you. We are all idols. We are all idols. Like, there would be one person or the other that would idolize you at some point. So I hope you've enjoyed that. So if you've enjoyed what I've said today, please press on the like button and subscribe and leave a comment. Leave a comment. Let me know if you like my content. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, Jams.